Hey guys, Lauren Oliver here for episode 15 of Ask Lauren Oliver, where I answer all of your burning questions, and I hope you're impressed. Today I even blew dry my hair for you. Don't get used to it. Okay, so the first question, I'm warning you guys, there's a little bit of profanity in it, which I'm not going to bleep out because unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, I like profanity. At A.L. Patel says from Twitter, everyone's heard of the shitty first draft. How shitty are yours? Because mine's pushing it. Don't worry, at L. Patel. I mean, it's hard to qualify what the minimum shitty is versus maximum shitty, but my drafts can be pretty darn bad, and my drafts can be actually unreadable. I mean, grammatically and stuff, and in terms of sentences, I think they're usually okay, but there are often major plot holes, there are threads that get dropped, some whole characters don't even have names by the time I'm finished with my first draft. It really depends on the book. Some come out cleaner than ever, but it doesn't matter. That's what revision is for, and maybe you're somebody who just writes first drafts and then needs to take a lot of time revising. There are certainly a ton of writers like that. Don't lose faith. At JennaBabe99 from Tumblr asks, do you ever feel like your ideas for a book or even a chapter in a book are similar to another book out there? It's tricky because I think that there's kind of only a limited amount of stories in the world, but kind of an infinite amount of ways to tell them. I always compare it to keys on a piano. There's a limited quantity of keys on the piano, but there's an infinite variation with which you can put those notes together, and I think that's true of stories. Ideas themselves get recycled and reused all the time. It's all about finding a new, interesting angle and a way to tell the story that hasn't been seen before. At JustMel from Twitter, I miss you. Mwah. If you had only one day left and it would be your last, what would you do? You know, I'm really blessed because if I had only one day left to live, it would I'd do probably pretty much exactly the same thing I do now on my day-to-day life, which is I'd get up, I'd do some writing, I'd go on a nice long run, I'd do some more writing, and then I'd meet friends and family for dinner. So I'm lucky enough to have constructed my life in such a way that I feel like I'm ready to go at any time. No, not that. But I do feel pretty blessed. At Stareski from YouTube, have you ever thought about writing poetry? I have thought about it, but only to think about how terrible it would be if I did it. Poetry is a completely different art form. It's one I admire greatly, but I do not have that particular skill set in my basket. So I will leave the poetry for the professionals. I'll keep trying to write books that you will hopefully want to read. And in the meantime, remember to send me your questions on Twitter or Tumblr, and I'll see you next week.